intention is here on the 6th of December, 2025, on a Saturday, to be just having a brief review of the week and see what happened. If you can hear me okay, chat, type 1, comment section. If you can hear me okay. I'm just testing a new mic also. That's really the secondary purpose of going live on a Saturday. I don't usually go live on Saturday, but I'm here today, and I think you can hear me. Maybe you can't even hear me. Testing my new mic. I hope everything is okay. I need to go over here and do my audio. That's audio input. Okay. So just change my audio input and waiting to see if you can hear me. And just had a disconnection there. But now I'm back. And you can't hear me. Well, let me just go to the settings again. Audio. Ah. Oh boy. So I think you can hear me now. I couldn't hear myself. That's what the problem was. Go to settings again. I'm still not hearing myself. And I think, sorry about that, guys. I'm just trying to be sure that you can hear me. And nobody, oh, somebody else is watching. Let me just type in here. Okay. Maybe you'll answer that, then I'll get some response. But I'm not getting anything. Why is that? Oh, I know what I need to do. Sound. Go ahead and change the mode. And the output is the, oh God. I finally got it fixed. Okay, I forgot that on the Mac you have to go to your settings. And it's in there that you adjust everything. I'm doing it on the streaming software, and I had all the settings correct. However, I did not go to my Mac settings. I forgot about that. Sorry about that, guys. So here we are, like, 6 minutes into the live and just getting the sound working. So thanks for joining, whoever you are watching, and I do appreciate that. Thank you for being here, and let me know where you're from if you're watching. And the purpose of today is Saturday, the 6th of December, 2025, is to go over a review of what happened last week, particularly with gold. Of course, that's what I trade gold, and I only trade gold. That's all I traded in 2025. And let's have a look at the charts and see what happened. It was pretty spectacular yesterday. But before I do that, I want to go to the, excuse me, I want to go to the news, and let's see if we can go to forexfactory.com. So we can get that on the screen. And just give me a second. There we go. Okay, that's forexfactory.com. We're looking at there. And it's going to be a big week. You look at this. There's a full page of calendar events, high impact. All of these are high impact news items. And I don't trade the news, but I do stay aware of the news because some of these things can really have an impact on the movement of currencies and commodities. And Tuesday morning, we don't have anything on Monday. On Tuesday morning, Asia Pacific and Southeast Asia, we have the Australian economy will release their interest rate, cash rate, overnight rate. It's all the same thing. And that is forecast that they're not going to change the interest rate. And then we've got the ADP weekly employment change. That's tentative. All right, on the U.S. economy. Then on Wednesday, we've got the Bank of Canada will also release their interest rate decision, and that's also forecast to be no change on the Bank of Canada. They call it an overnight rate. And then it's a big week for interest rates. And then on Thursday, this is Thursday morning, very early, 2 a.m. It's after midnight Wednesday. The big one, the U.S. dollar interest rate. What are we looking at there? And it's forecast they will lower the interest rate by 25 basis points, and that's going to be huge. If they do that, that's good for gold and bad for the U.S. dollar. So be watching for that one, particularly if you trade any of the major U.S. currency pairs or the trade gold, XAU, USD, anything paired with gold. That's going to have a huge impact if they lower the interest rate. And it is expected that they will lower the interest rate. It's been expected they will for a long time. And that's why gold keeps going up. And then on Thursday, also the regular, where is it here? Unemployment rate for the U.S. And also we have the employment change and unemployment rate for the Australian economy. And then on Friday, one last news item on the Great British Pound, and that's the GDP month on month. So that's really a big week as we go into the last month of the year and coming up to Christmas. Only 19 days to Christmas. So lots of high impact news items. Be sure to check forexfactory.com for your local times. These times you see here are Southeast Asia times. This is Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Thailand, etc. Just be sure to check Forex Factory. Now go back to the gold chart. And I want to just go to full screen here and see what I've got. Okay, now we're on the 1 hour chart. And looking at gold on the 1 hour chart. So this is yesterday, these 23 candles here. And it was a big move up from Asia Pacific market open. It just went up and up and up and up and up and straight up most of the day until it got to 42.59. That was our high of the day, 42.59. And then the craziest move in the next 30 minutes, it dropped $60, 600 pips in 30 minutes. And then it dropped a little bit more as the U.S. session started to close. So overall, it was a $70 drop from this high of 42.59, and the low ended up being 41.66. I believe that is 41. Oh, that goes back to the wrong number there. Let me correction there. 41.91 was the low. 41.90, 41.91. a huge, massive drop in the U.S. session after that climb up all day. And then, so obviously Friday was just taking profit, just taking profit. When you see my trend lines here, this is means I'm a trend line trader, and this red downward line, and then I have the green upward line. And if it breaks below or above one of those, then I take the appropriate trade. But let's go over here and look at the 4 hour chart. Just take that a second to change. On the daily chart, we are still bullish. Um, my chart doesn't want to change. What in the world? What is going on here? Well, I think I'm back live now. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm back live now. Is anybody still here? Okay, still got 3 people watching. I can't believe you guys have stayed through all of this. I'm having a terrible internet connection here in my condo. I don't know what's going on with that. Why it's so bad. So I'll go back to where I was still on the 1 hour chart. Let's see if we can go to the 4 hour chart. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so I can show my, no, I cannot. But gold has been bearish it was bearish on the 4 hour chart for about 2 hours. yesterday. No, it was bullish. Sorry, it turned bullish after this first big candle with the Asian session. Gold turned bullish, and it stayed bullish until the U.S. session, and then it turned bearish. So right now, as of this moment, gold is bearish on the H4 chart. We've been getting a lot of mostly sideways movement for the last 5 trading days. This week was just really traded in a very tight range, as you can see there. I can put a couple of lines on the chart at that high there, and put another line here at this. So we're really in that tight range all week long. Very tight range. Well, for gold, that's a tight range. Okay, it's not this big move that we had the previous week. But yeah, we're in that tight range right now. And so it was kind of neutral there midweek. And then Friday turned bullish, but only for a few hours. And then the U.S. session opened and it turned bearish. So right now, the gold on the 4-hour chart is bearish. We get rid of those lines. And then if we go to the day chart, gold is still bullish. Gold is still bullish on the day chart. Well, as you know, if you trade gold, we've had this massive run up, and then it fell down, a lot of profit taking there for several days. But now steadily making its climb up. And this being because the market sentiment is generally expecting a lowering of interest rates, and that's good for gold. And now it's almost a given that we're going to see lowering of interest rates this coming week, Wednesday after midnight in Asia, Thursday morning. So gold is bullish on the day chart, bearish on the 4-hour chart, but the 4-hour chart can change very quickly. It was changed bullish to bearish in one day on the 4-hour chart. The big picture, the overall outlook for gold is bullish. So I'll be looking for an opportunity to buy. However, having said that, when the Asian market opens on Monday, they tend to follow what was happening in the close of the U.S. session the previous Friday. So we could see some more retracement, some lower prices, maybe down in the 41.74. That's where we were on Thursday. Okay, 41.74, and even got to 41.62 on Tuesday. So we could be going to lower prices initially, but that we could be going down to this range in here, this support level. Okay, on Monday. On Monday, when the Asian market opens, it could just continue down and then bounce off of this and start to come back up. That's what I'll be looking for. But the overall outlook for gold is bullish. So I'll be looking for an opportunity to buy. I really don't want to be selling. I don't want to short gold at these low prices. If it's going to come on down here, I'll just let it go. I won't take the trade. If it continues to drop to lower prices, I will not take a trade. I'm looking for gold to continue the overall big picture of being bullish. So I'll be looking for an opportunity to buy. And if I see it bounce off of this support level here, then that's when I will go long. It's even been lower than that the previous week. Look at these low prices back here. Wow. Almost got down to 4,000. Very, very close to 4,000. But now it's been making its way back up. As I say, the market is expecting lowering of interest rates. And you see, we've got this even on the 1-hour chart. You see this sideways range that we had all this week. But I'm expecting to see, with the lowering of interest rate, gold to continue moving up. And we can just quickly look at the DXY. I like to go to the long-term chart when we look at the DXY. And you can see a continuing decline of the US dollar. Okay, yeah, it does make some retracements. all right, but it's continuing to decline ever since right here. This is January 2025, and that's when Trumpy Dumpty took office, and it's just been on a steady down run. Okay, and it's going to continue to decline in spite of these unsustainable pullbacks and retracements. Right? You see, the last week, this is a daily chart. The last week, it started to drop again, expecting lower interest rates. The market is expecting lower interest rates. 90% chance that that's going to happen. And quickly before I go, we'll look at Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is trading what now? 88, 89,000. It did make a run up to on the daily chart. We got 126,000 was our the biggest move that we had. And then last week we had this big spike up to 98,000. And it dropped down and now trading at, but that's Bitcoin. It dropped $46,000 in October. A 6 week period there. It dropped $46,000. Go back to the 1 hour chart. We see Bitcoin trades 24/7. So we're getting getting a bearish move yesterday. Now starting to come back up a little bit, but not much. And I'll finish off on gold. This was the closing U.S. session on gold. We had a $70 drop yesterday, massive drop, 700 pips before the U.S. session closed for the week. What is my A plus setup? I'm talking load the boat trade. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Ken, for your comment. I appreciate it. I don't usually do live on Saturday, but this is just a review, and I also wanted to test out the new mic that I've got. I hope that you guys can hear me clearly. And that's a great question. Thank you for asking me. And let me go back to the chart. And I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart. I trade on the 15-minute chart. Okay, that's where I trade, the 15-minute chart. And I use the trend line strategy. Only trend lines, that's all I use. All right, so what I will be looking for is a break above the red line to go long, or break below the green line to go short. But as I just said, if it starts heading down, I'm very unlikely to take a short trade. I'm looking for an opportunity to buy. Okay. Now, right now, because of this massive drop, the trend lines are very, very, very far apart. So what I will be looking to do once the market starts on Monday, I will take my trend line tool, and here's my B point, and I'll come down and touch that one. So something like that. It won't look like that on Monday morning because there'll be a few candles already started, and it won't be such a steep line. But what I'm looking for, my A plus setup, my A plus trade setup, I really want to have 3 touch points. Here I've only got 1, 2. So my A plus setup is 3 touch points. And that's whether it's a long trade or a short trade. So, but this will, I'll have more candles after the first couple of hours on Monday, and this trend line will be adjusted before I start trading at 8 a.m. Indochina time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and looking for an opportunity to buy. But I expect that I will have another 1 or 2 touch points, 3 touch points or more, and then a break of the trend line. That's my A plus. But load the boat. I don't load the boat. I trade small, and I use a stop loss on every trade because I am very serious about protecting my capital. Mhm. No, I don't use Heikin-Ashi candles. I've looked at them quite a few times over the years. I've been trading Forex for more than 10 years, I've looked at the Heiken-Ashi candles. Some people like them. That's fine if you do. If that works for you, that's fine. I don't use Heiken-Ashi candles. I started with the regular candlesticks for several years, and then found out about Heiken-Ashi, and I changed my charts, and I just wasn't comfortable with that. I probably didn't give it enough time to understand it. Some people really prefer the Heiken-Ashi candles, but I don't use that. And some people that even use the same trend line strategy, they also use the Heiken-Ashi candles. So if that works for you, great. You know, that's fine. You get 100 different traders in the room, and you'll have 100 different strategies. You got to use what works for you. And if you prefer the Heiken-Ashi candles, go for it. Where are you watching from, Ken? By the way, I don't remember seeing you in my weekly live. I do the weekly live. I do the daily live. Sorry, I do the daily live Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 8 a.m. Indochina time. And I'll be doing that for 2 more weeks and then it's very close to Christmas, and there's no point in trading on Christmas and New Year's. There's just no point. So, and been trading all year, so we need a break. We need a holiday. Need to get away from the charts. So 2 more weeks of daily live trading. Oh, you're in California. That's cool. I'm from Texas originally, but I don't live in the U.S. I haven't lived in the U.S. since 1984. I live in Southeast Asia, and I love it out here. It's absolutely wonderful, this part of the world. So yeah, my charts are all set up. I'm ready to go for Monday. I trade the. Am I from Abbott? You mean Abbott, Texas? No, I'm not from Abbott. I'm from Odessa, Odessa, Texas. It's the Odessa Midland area, the Permian Basin, where all the oil comes from, or where most of the oil comes from. And the reason I do live at those times is because that's when the Asian Pacific market opens. That's when Singapore opens and Shanghai opens. And Shanghai is a gold exchange. And I really like the movement of the Asian Pacific market for 2 hours, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. in Southeast Asia, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It moves well, it trends well. I really like it. And then sometimes I'll look at the London session to see if there's a good trade set up. And I never trade the US session. I look at it, but I never trade the US session. It's just too crazy volatile. You get green, red, green, red, green, red. Oh, Willie is from, I didn't know he's from Abbott. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's where his farm is or something. I wasn't aware of that. Of course, I know Willie Nelson. I saw Willie Nelson live in concert in Lubbock, Texas in 1976 because I went to Texas Tech University. And of course, he's very famous. The Austin crowd, the Armadillo headquarters, and all that stuff. And I think he's still alive. He must be about 92 years old, I think. Yeah, Willie Nelson. Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. I was a big fan of Willie when I was in the States. Absolutely. And George Jones and Marshall Tucker Band. A lot of those uh, guys. I can't remember their name. Jerry Jeff Walker used to play with Willie. And there's another guy, I can't remember his name. A lot of them have passed away by now. Oh, Willie Nelson, the national treasure, absolutely. Yeah. Oh. Well, listen, I'm going to get out of here. This was just a brief review. I don't usually do this on Saturdays. I just wanted to come in here and check my new microphone and make sure everything's all still good set up for Monday. And I hope to see you next week, Ken. Feel free to join anytime. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you'll be notified. And you're more than welcome. And it also helps if you like and share. I appreciate that. So have a good weekend there in California. Enjoy your weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and look forward to seeing you next week.